Hey guys, All Sports 83 here with a quick edition of XFL Casual here, and I just wanted to pop on and talk a little bit about ticket sales for the upcoming Week 1 matchups for the XFL. At the time of recording this video, we're probably looking at just about a week and a half away from February 18th, and that's going to be the kickoff day, and so when you look at these sales, it should be some indication of fan interest, and that's why this is an important topic for those who are interested in the XFL. Now, clearly, I don't have any real numbers to share, so let me tell you what I did do. I went onto XFL's website, went through the ticket portal for each of the home opening games for Week 1, and took a look and see which seats were available on each seating chart for those games. Let's start with the opening game in Arlington, Texas. This is Choctaw Stadium, and as of February 6th, here is the seating availability. A couple of things to keep in mind. First, the upper decks are closed off for all of these stadiums, and so I've kind of cropped them out of these images, these screenshots that I've posted here for this video. Now, if you look at these blue and pink dots that are around the stadiums, these represent all of the seats that are still available. The gray dots then, those are seats that are not available. I'm sure you've seen something close to this before. It's not really that hard to interpret. Again, there could be sections that are closed off that we really don't know. Some of these sections that are just basically the whole section is a grayed out section. It's possible that those sections are just not available for sale and they're not really purchased tickets. But if it's any indication from last time, in 2020, pretty much the whole lower level was opened up to fans, so I can't imagine it would be any different this time around. So it looks pretty good here for Choctaw Stadium. There's definitely still some sections that can be purchased. There's grouping areas, but there's also plenty of areas where there's a lot of tickets that look like they've been sold. Again, we don't know for sure, but this does look promising for the opening game of the season. As we shift to the Roughnecks home stadium in Houston, it's also worth noting that just because a ticket is sold, it doesn't necessarily mean that that seat will be filled during the game. You have scalpers and scheduling conflicts may account for some drop-off. But the revenue is definitely generated from those sales, and that is a good sign for the ticket sales of these games. Now, the Guardians and Roughnecks here, there is some drop-off from the sales that we saw in the Choctaw Stadium chart. There's still plenty of seating all around the stadium, especially behind the end zone areas, as you can see. This may not look so good on game day if there's not much of a change between now and kickoff for this game. Now, things look much better for San Antonio and the Alamo Dome. As you can see, there are plenty of gray dots or sold seats, or that's the indication here, on this chart. This looks pretty impressive. The home side of the stadium looks to be almost completely sold out, and that's really encouraging. So, Brahma fans should probably start making plans if they want to be at the inaugural home game against the Battlehawks on that first game on Sunday the 19th. Again, we kind of all thought that San Antonio was going to be a pretty good market for the XFL. Again, this is just the lower section of the stadium, but still, this is spring football. So if you can pack out the lower section of a pro stadium like this that could hold, upper 60,000 people, you're doing pretty well for yourself. So this is really impressive for the Brahmas of week number 1. So Audi Field will host the last game of week number 1 where the DC Defenders play, and I would say this is kind of a mixed chart. There's certainly plenty of seats that are filled, but also plenty of seats that are available, kind of surrounding the entire stadium. And so, it's kind of a mixed bag. It looks okay, but there's hope that there's going to be more sales between now and February 19th, but kind of a mixed chart for the DC Defenders here. I would say based on all of this information, though, it's mostly good news for the XFL. There's definitely tickets being sold at every venue. Again, that Houston stadium probably doesn't look as good as maybe they would like. We'll see if maybe things can turn around as we get closer to that week 1 kickoff. But as a bonus chart, what I wanted to do next is I wanted to take a look at the St. Louis Battlehawks home opener. Again, there's a lot of discussion about how good of a market St. Louis is for spring football. 2020 was certainly an indicator of that. There was plenty of fans that showed up to the Dome at America Center in St. Louis. And so I was just curious, since that market was so successful in 2020, I wanted to take a look and see what that market looked like for week 4 of this season. So here is that chart. And again, I've got to say, based on the indication of this chart, if those gray dots on this lower section of that dome represents tickets that have already been sold, this is really impressive. And what makes it even more impressive is this isn't until week 4 of the season. We're looking at over a month away before this game is even set to take place. So there's still a month of ticket sales that's going to be taking place for this game. So this is really encouraging as well. But that's the last chart I have for you. Now I may go ahead and do another video similar to this and maybe do the remaining stadiums and see how those teams look. That way we try to be a little bit balanced across the entire league. We'll see how this Seattle market looks. I am curious on how that Orlando market looks as well. And of course, we'll take a look and see what Vegas has to offer, if we can capture anything there. I know they're a little behind because of the deal where they couldn't figure out where their home was going to be. So hopefully we'll get some information about Cashman Field as well. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about this chart? Is there any information that I'm missing that I didn't pick up on about the way these ticket sales take place and the way these charts look? Just let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be looking forward to it. Until then, next time, have a good one.